guys, it's Carrie from Rockin G Farm. Today I am going to be canning peaches. We live probably about 5 minutes from a orchard that has all kinds of fruit, vegetables, you name it, they have it, and their peaches were ready this week. So I got a couple of pounds of peaches and we're gonna put some away. I put some away last night, and then I've got the encore peaches to finish today. I am going to use my Ball Blue book, and it's a guide to preserving. And the recipe that I'm going to use is going to be the peaches in apple juice. It's not going to have any added sugar. It was really super easy last night, but I've figured out some different ways to tweak it to make it a little bit easier. Okay guys, now while my water for my blanching of my peaches is getting ready to boil, I am going to go ahead and get our produce protector so that my produce will not turn brown on me. I'm going to get that ready while my water is getting ready to boil. So what I do, I put 3 heaping tablespoons of the Ball Produce Protector in a bowl with 2 quarts of water and mix it up. And then after I cut up my peaches, they will sit in this until they're ready to boil. You can also use lemon juice to do this if you do not have the Ball Produce Protector. And in the Ball Blue book, it does tell you instructions on how to do that. There's 1 tablespoon, 2, and 3. And I just store this in the refrigerator since I don't use it except for during the summertime. Now I'm going to add my water, 2 quarts of water to my Ball Produce Protector. And 2 quarts is 8 cups, and it's going to come all the way up to here. Now I am going to need to stir that up just a bit. Just to make sure that it's all dissolved in the bottom. I am going to put a little bit of this into another bowl so that when I start putting peaches in it, it will not overflow. So there we go. Looks like that's all soft. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put my peaches in some strainers so I can rinse them in cool water so that I can get them ready to blanch. I'm going to leave them there and let them drain for a little bit while my water for the blanching process is continuing to get hot enough to boil. Okay, I've got my bowl of cool water ready to place the peaches in after they blanch. I am going to put just some ice in there just to make sure it is really cool. That is not a requirement on the recipe, but last night I figured out that I would rather get them chilled back real quickly, because some of them kind of continue, I blanched them too long and they continued to cook. So some of them were a little more mushy than what they should have been. So I'm going to blanch them. Okay guys, since this is kind of a fast process, I needed some extra help. So my husband's gonna help me blanch these so we can go real fast and not get them soggy like I did last night. So he is putting them in the boiling water, and we've got a timer set for 45 seconds. And at 45 seconds, we're going to pull them out, drop them in the cool bath, and then leave them there about 15 seconds, and then put them on the towel, ready to get to my spot where I'm going to cut, peel, and seed them. So as you can see, he's got the timer going, and then he's just going to dip these out of the water where we are blanching the peaches. And blanching just means what we're going to do. You put them in water, boiling water, for a couple of seconds, 30 to 60 seconds. It helps the peel to release from the fruit, so it is easier to peel once you get to the point of cutting and peeling, and it's not hard like you would normally do a peel when you're peeling originally a fresh peach. So right now he's putting in the cool bath for me, and then I'm going to take them out and lay them on the towel, and then we will come back and do the next step. So right now we're getting ready to pull them out of the cool bath. And that is the process that's going to take the longest, is blanching and cool bath and getting out of the cool bath. Okay, we'll be back in a minute when I show you how to peel and cut and pick your peaches. And we're back. We have blanched all of our peaches. I've put them in the water or the cool bath, and I've placed them on the towel. Even though they've been in the cool bath, they are still just a tad warm, but not hot to where they will end up getting soggy like my ones last night. And last night I also was doing this by myself, so I did leave some of them soaking in the cool bath for a while. And also I think that is probably why it some of them also got soggy. But I'm gonna move these over to my island, and I'm gonna start peeling them and getting the pits out of them and cutting them in half. All right guys, I am ready to start cutting my peaches in half. And I have got a bowl ready for my peels and my seeds, and I'm just going to take those out to the chickens when I'm done with this. But I have my ball fruit protectant already dissolved, and I poured it in half in one bowl and left half in another so that I can put my peaches in there. And I'm messy, so I have all my countertop lined with towels because I don't want to end up getting stuff all over. So as soon as I start getting these done and I get these two filled up, I am going to go back to the stove top and show you the next process. So we're just going to start getting these ready. And the best thing, okay, so the best thing that I've figured out from doing this last night, it is easier to do this process if you leave your peaches in halves instead of cutting them in slices. So I'm just going to pop the seed out, and I'm going to make sure there's no hard edges. And this right here, if it's really hard on the inside where your peach seed has left and your pit, if it's hard, go ahead and cut that out. But if it's still soft, don't worry about doing anything to it. So what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and peel them. So when you blanch your fruit, this is why you do it. The skin is just peeling off. So that's why you blanch your fruit before you are canning. So it makes it so much easier to peel. Okay guys, as you can see, we are getting the peaches peeled and put in the preservative right now. And I've got water boiling for putting the peaches in to boil before we put them in the jars. Now I'm going to add 5 cups of apple juice to my pot here to boil. When you measure, you need to get down on eye level and make sure that you can see, because if you're pouring from up here, up high, and you continue to pour, you could actually pour more in your cup than what you think you're pouring. So you need to get down on eye level and make sure that your fluid is level with the marking on your cup. So this is 2 cups. That is 4 cups. And then we'll do 1 cup. I'm going to put this on a back burner and put it on low, medium low for right now, because we want it to be just the beginnings of a boil. We don't want it to be a high boil or a rolling boil. We just want it to be the beginnings of a boil. Okay, next, I'm getting my water bath canner, bringing it over to my stove top. Bring it over, and I'm going to start that on high and let that start boiling. I can tell from what the water level that's there now, I'm going to need some more water. Okay, so as you can see, I have got 7 jars in the water bath, and I've got the water bath on like a medium-high heat, because you do want this to be a simmering boil, and then we're going to up it to a roiling boil, and I've got a thermometer I put in there. For my peaches is ready for them. I am going to turn it down just a tad, because boiling is boiling. So here we go. I'm going to add my peaches to the boiling water with just 1 layer on the bottom. Per the directions in the book. Okay, according to my recipe, they want it to be just on the bottom, and I don't want them to cover each other. So we're just going to put enough to where it covers the bottom of the pot. And just be aware that after you're done with canning this, you will have a sticky kitchen, and you will have to come through with cleaner and clean everything. Let's see. Maybe 1 more. Let's do 2 more. How about that? And we're going to heat them up to where they're just hot. Start heating up stuff. And I know most people say don't can on a glass top, but that's all I've got right now. So I do what I can with what I have. Okay guys, so we are going to get our peaches, which are just boiled to being hot throughout. And I'm going to fill the jar with them. I should have used Wild Mouth, but oh well. So there we go. So drop our peaches in. It does say to put it with the pit side down and just crisscross and layer, but I was having a hard time with my first jar getting the pit side to stay down, so I didn't worry about that, and I am just putting my peaches in. And then I'm going to do 1/2 inch of airspace. What do you call them? Headspace. What was that? That word, I was thinking that word didn't sound right. So I'm gonna push that one in, and I'm gonna put this last one in. There we go. So we've got that in, and I'm going to measure, and I have my plastic knife, and it has different measurements on it. It has a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 1 inch. And what you do with that, you put it on your jar to wherever you need your headspace. Like I have a 1/2 inch of headspace, so I'm gonna put that stair step onto my top of my rim, and my peaches aren't touching it, but I'm going to add my apple juice and add that up to 1/2 inch of headspace. And I want you to watch the jar. It is getting bubbles out of there. And there's one other step we have to do for bubbles also. Ooh, I think I might have gotten just a tad much. Ooh, just a tad much. Ladies and gentlemen, just a tad much. Let's kind of scoop that out a little bit. We're going to do a 1/2 inch step and make sure that it is touching from the rim to the juice. And actually, I took this a tad much. There we go. And you want to be accurate on this to make sure that there is no, it makes your seal seal correctly. And then after you do that, what you need to do then is use your plastic knife that comes in your kit. Watch my jar if you can. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit, and I want you to watch my jar. It's going to release a lot of air bubbles that are in there. Those air bubbles will cause mold if you do not get them out. So we're just kind of sticking them in, and I can see a whole bunch of air bubbles back here while I'm putting my plastic knife in. And we're just trying to move stuff around and get our air bubbles out. Okay, and there we go. I'm gonna push that one back down. There we go. And then I made a mess on that, so I've got my clean rag. And I am going to use my clean rag that I only use for this process and clean the outside of the top of my jar and the rim of my jar. If there is any sticky goo or juice or peaches or anything on there, that will cause an inaccurate seal or a false seal. Just gonna kind of make sure there's nothing on there, and we'll go back through and do that. Clean that up a little bit. And I have my seal sitting in hot water, not boiling water, just hot water. I'm going to place that on top of my jar. I've got my ring. I'm going to place it on to the jar and just close it fingertip tight. You don't want to tighten it real tight, just fingertip tight. And then I'm going to sit it back over here in my water bath. Sorry guys, I'm doing this while I'm cooking. I am not set up to do a video. I just wanted to do a video while I was doing this. And I'm going to sit it back over here in the hot water bath, and I'm going to continue to do that process until my jars are filled or I am out of peaches. So let me get back to getting this done, and I'll show you again when we get to some more jars. Guys, it looks like I've got my peaches in the water bath. I have about 1 inch of water over the actual lid of the jars, and you can see the bubbles coming out of the jars, and that is making it seal along with the heat. And I'm going to process these for 25 minutes, and then we will have peaches for wintertime. Thank you guys for joining me today at Rockin G Farm when I am making canning peaches in apple juice. Make what you have beautiful.